Hi everyone, welcome to the collaborative show. This is an initiative by the Circle of Legends where we're trying to bring in mentors and mentees from across the globe and we're building a platform for collaboration. So while I introduce our guest for the day, let me know in the comments where you're joining in from. So my name is Pallabi and I'm your host for today. And with me, I have our guest speaker, Ms. Kajal Khurana. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have the opportunity to host you, ma'am. So for those of you who don't know, ma'am has a podcast which is for budding entrepreneurs, and she has written a book, and she is also a coach, and she's interested in health and wellness. So ma'am, is there something that you want to add?
I think you've said it enough.
Okay, let's wait and see if the audience has something to share. If you guys have any questions about entrepreneurship or health or wellness, please feel free to write it in the comments. Okay, ma'am. While we have the audience, joining us, let's talk a little bit about the previous conversation that we had. So you know how tomorrow is Teachers' Day, like the 5th of September. Teachers' Day is coming up, and it is a day where we often, express our gratitude to all the people who have made a difference to our lives. But
Right.
I think that with the pandemic, more of students are approaching online resources, and the online resources have become the new teachers. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to express our gratitude to them. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the edtech companies and organizations that are bringing in so many different courses.
Right.
Ma'am, do you have anything to add?
I think not only technology, but we have multiple teachers in our lives, starting from our
Mhm.
mother or our parents at home. We
Right.
should definitely show gratitude to them first. And then all our teachers in our school, or, sometimes our neighbors can also be teacher. Whoever
Mhm.
has taught you a lesson in your life, you should definitely be grateful to them. And even if technology is giving us so much, but we don't know where it's coming from directly, we can at
Right.
least be grateful to the source or the link from where it's coming to.
Yeah, I agree. So while there are a lot of people who are, they have different methods of expressing the gratitude, but we at the Circle of Legends have this initiative where we're going to combine all the photos of mentors. So along with, students can contribute. They can send in photos of the teachers along with their details, that like maybe their name or a message of gratitude, and we're going to compile all of this to create a what should I say? It would be a very large e-card, but yeah, that's something that we're looking forward to do, and we would be sharing it tomorrow in our Saturday session as well as on our social media handles.
That's amazing. I'm sure most of the teachers will be impressed if you're going to tag them, and they'll be touched as well, especially in
Yeah.
today's time where teachers don't feel that students really respect or value what they have,
Hmm.
to give,
Yeah.
offer them. So it's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So ma'am, I was wondering if you have a teacher whom you would like to pay your respects to.
Well, very interesting question. I have too many teachers because I think
Hmm.
I have come a long way in my professional journey, in my personal life. First of all, definitely I would say thank you to my mother because I
Yeah.
think she has been an instrument in my life who has given me very good values since my childhood. Like she would share quotes like this, health is wealth, which got incorporated in my head. And then she would say, practice what you preach, which got
Hmm.
incorporated in my head. So there were a couple of things, which not couple of things, but actually multiple things and stories she would share. So definitely my mom as my first teacher. And apart from
Hmm.
that, all the other teachers who have given me education and my spiritual teachers. So and then there are definitely digital teachers, I would say, like Tony Robbins
Yes.
has taught me a lot, and I
Right.
get inspired by Oprah's journey. So yeah, there
Hmm.
are multiple teachers, but to put somebody on top, that should definitely be my mother.
I agree with you, ma'am. I mean, I think along the similar lines that your mother is your first teacher. So my mother tells me stories of my childhood when, she would spend her entire day with me, just trying to teach me different things, be it like rhymes or just playing, all of that is so important for a child's development. And
Right.
like you said, a mother is instrumental in that process. So yeah, thank you for
Mhm.
sharing that.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, you mentioned how your mother taught you that you should practice what you preach, and I think I can see that while I'm listening to your podcast. So, like the latest episode, you were talking about how to be authentic, and I love that you were able to say that during the podcast. It wasn't something that's scripted, so you were being authentic while preaching the same, and that's great.
We normally try to practice that, Pallavi. We never script any of our podcasts, even though guests come to me and ask me, hey, do you have any set questions? And I
Yeah,
say no. Only the first question will be the same, and the last probably, like introduce
yeah,
yourself and where can people find you. But I would like to keep it organic, because when it comes naturally, people will relate to you more rather than
true.
scripting it. We can script it. We are
Yeah,
not making a movie
yeah,
here. We are trying to be natural and show our true colors to people, that it's okay to fail, it's
yeah,
okay to fumble, it's okay to sneeze
right.
during podcast. I had guests who were sipping water and you can hear that. I have guests whose phone were ringing. I have guests whose cats were coming, and
Yeah,
yeah, so we are just natural because we like it that way, and we want people to be like that, because I think the world is becoming very artificial, especially the
right.
social media. People
Hmm.
only post the perfect pictures of themselves, having a gala time on
True.
the beach or in the restaurant. But in
Right.
real life, everybody has their own share of struggles. So we
Right.
want to show true colors to our audience, and we expect them also to be like this and not follow the rat race.
I agree, ma'am. I mean, how you said that everything is artificial on social media. That makes me think that, you know, I do know that there is an impact on somebody's mental health and wellness, but I would like to know what you think about the extent of it. How much impact does the content that we see online that we consume, how much impact does that have on somebody's mental health?
See, it purely depends on the individual, I would say, how much you're consuming, right? What's your capacity? But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, these days, youngsters and mothers who are at home, like, stay at
Right.
home moms
Yeah.
who have more time, are mostly on social media, surfing, and
Yeah.
probably just trying to kill time because they don't have true friends. They have virtual friends. So you're talking to people on Facebook or, IG, or just watching YouTube videos. So it depends personally on how much you consume it. But I think percentage wise, there are more than 80% of the people who are on social media platforms
Mm-hmm.
almost like 14, 15 hours of the day. There are very few
Yeah.
people who do not get overwhelmed with social media
Mm.
platforms, but it's very difficult. For example, if somebody wants to search for something and they think, okay,
Right.
maybe they want to look for just, I'm hypothetically giving you an example, they want to look for a
Mm.
recipe on YouTube. Now they pick up
Right.
the phone, and when they open the tab YouTube, they will see all the other things which are streaming, right? Suddenly
True.
something attracts them, and then they click that, and then from
Yeah.
there they go to some other video, and from there they go to, and
Right.
then they lose 2 hours, 3 hours,
Yeah.
wasting or probably consuming the content which was
Mm.
not important for them at that particular time. They actually logged into YouTube to get a recipe, and after 2
Yeah.
hours you'll realize, oh my god, I actually wanted to get the recipe of a eggless chocolate cake, and what am I doing now? So one has to actually filter that. For me also, initially when I started my online business, I would call this a rabbit hole. So you go into
Yeah.
that, and then you get into another hole, then you
Yeah.
get into another hole, and you lose control. So it took me a while to train my mind. When I'm
Mm.
logging into some platform for some particular information, I tell myself, I remind myself, hey, listen,
Yeah.
this is your work, and this is what you're supposed to do, and just do that
Right.
first. So once you
Right.
do that and you think that, or you decide to keep your mobile phone aside,
Hmm.
then it becomes easy for you to not get, trapped in that rabbit hole. So I think,
Right.
to a large extent people are getting affected. And to come back to
Hmm.
your question, it is definitely causing mental dysfunction for a lot of people, because if people are seeing only the good versions of other people,
Right.
like their friends having good time, on the beach, like I said, having a Ferrari, or traveling
Yeah.
first class, or having
Hmm.
Gucci bag, that causes lot of anxiety, depression, because people think that you are not good enough, you can't afford all these things. But
Right.
sometimes these pictures are like, edited. Some people don't
Yeah.
even have Ferraris and jets, and they're yet standing in, maybe someone else Ferrari is standing in the parking lot, and I just click the picture.
And they just get clicked with it. True.
Exactly. So you have to think that way. Everything what you see on social media is not true. I'm not saying it's 100%
Hmm.
wrong as well, but you need to
Right.
understand that it is okay not to compare yourself to someone who's having all these shiny object syndromes. So yeah, it is
Correct.
causing lot of mental illness.
I agree. I mean, I'll just take the example of myself. So, while I was working, I found myself, uh, it was just, just another day, and I had spent 7 hours on Instagram. And this is something that I found out only after checking my activity level, which I think a lot of people aren't even aware that, something like this exists. But it
Right.
does, and we should make use of it. And that hit me so much that I went off all social media platforms, including WhatsApp. And
Right.
yeah, the detox was amazing because now I have full control over how much time I spend on which platform. And I think most of it also stemmed from the anxiety of, what will people think if I don't respond to their messages?
Right.
Because I don't want to seem too busy or, too important. I don't want that. But I think I have found that talking to somebody over the phone, that is more meaningful than, sharing stories on Instagram.
Right. See, there are two things I would like to add here. First of all, I
Hmm.
think there are some filters you can have, especially if you're using laptop. You can have
Right.
filters that after 1 hour or after certain time that
Yeah.
your app will be shut off or your window will
Hmm.
be shut off. So you can use that if you want to. If you think you don't have control, then let the app control it for you. That's
Right.
one thing. And second thing, I think, like you said, you are worried about what people will think. Why are we
Hmm.
into this? Why do we give the remote control to others? Let them think whatever they want to.
I
You
think,
should
yeah.
do what is right for you.
Yeah, ma'am, so I would just like to ask you if we can take a few questions.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So Nikita asks, what are the best self-growth books?
Screen, because I don't see myself. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would
Right.
definitely recommend you to read my book, which was published in June. It's called
Hmm.
Why Me First. It will talk about self
Right.
love actually, but it will give you an insight that you should not fall in the rat race of everything the industry is trying to sell you. It can be fitness or food. You need to learn to filter the information. So you can read this book. Apart from that, I really like Simon Sinek's book, Why Start with Your Why, or What's Your Why. If I have
Okay.
that book here, yeah, Start with Why. It's about understanding what you need to do in the
Hmm.
business and what's your why you should do. This will help you. Apart from that, I like Robin Sharma's Monk Who Sold His
Hmm.
Ferrari. It's a beautiful
That's
book.
her favorite.
Yeah, so these are books which will give you a lot of clarity and help you stay motivated, I will say.
Right. Right. Another book that I would recommend is uh, either many masters,
Many Masters, Many Lives. Yeah.
many
By
yeah. That
Brian
I
West. Yeah.
Ryan Weiss. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's more about human psychology and our past life karmic
Hmm.
accounts, I would say. Yeah.
Right.
But it's an
Right.
interesting book. Some people believe in it and some don't.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's
Hmm.
a must read book. I would recommend that too.
Yeah, I think that if you read it in, with the perspective that you can learn something from your experiences, I mean, I would say that that's how it helped me in terms of self development, which is why I think that it's a book that people should read.
Right. I
Right.
agree with you.
Yash says that there should be a no filter word. Okay, good choice of books. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ruby. Okay, Adi says, I want to leave social media, but a heavy amount of my work is dependent on it. Less personal usage, more work related. Any thoughts?
I don't think, Adi, it's a good idea because if you leave social media these days, especially we are in this world where everything is now dependent on technology. Even if you don't like it, you have to accept it. Like both me and my husband were anti-social media until last few years, but then we realized we are so much dependent, especially we live in a foreign country, and when we travel abroad, we are so much dependent on apps for booking our cabs.
Right,
Because, for
right.
example, I went to Myanmar in
Mm.
2018 June, somewhere like that, or 2019, and nobody speaks English there. So getting a local taxi there was a
Yeah,
big challenge. They don't understand where you want to go. They will ignore you. They will stare at you, and you feel that you're an alien there. So for me, it was easy because I had Uber. I would just put in from and to address, and they will take me to my destination. So as much as you don't want to, I think it's not a good idea. But yes,
yeah,
filter it. As I said, do not over use it. If you need
mm,
it only for your work, start planning. What are the platforms you need to finish your task? And then that's it. Use those platforms and limit it. I mean, watching Netflix before bedtime, watching news channels before bedtime,
yeah.
that is more bad than using social media for work, I would say.
Right. Okay. I hope, Adi, that answers your question. So, ma'am, that brings me to my next question. That, like you said, that we need to have filters, and when you go to a social media platform, or like you said, surfing videos on YouTube, to stop yourself from going down that rabbit hole. How do we distinguish between resources that are valuable and the ones that don't add any value?
Right. So you have to understand why you're surfing what you're surfing. First, that is the
Right.
question. It could be for your, especially if you're a student, it could be for your
Mhm.
research. Right. If
Okay.
you're
Right.
working in a corporate, it could be for, competitions, whatever reason, research again. So,
Right.
first of all, you need to identify why you're going to use that platform. And
Mhm.
second of all, you have to make sure that you only use it for that particular, um, you know, uh,
Reason or the time period.
reason, and that's
Yeah.
it. So you have to train your mind.
Mhm.
Okay, this is my project. I will find the information on probably XYZ platform.
Mhm.
Let me go research it and come back. But if you
Right.
don't train yourself, your mind, and you don't clearly write it down, then definitely
Mhm.
there are chances that you will, end up getting into the rabbit hole. And what platforms honestly depends on what work you are doing. Like I said, if you're looking for
Yeah.
recipes, or if you even for, there are a lot of educational videos on YouTube. So somebody is
Right.
probably preparing for a test, maybe a TOEFL,
Mhm.
or they want some free advice. So there are a lot of YouTube videos there. And if you're really looking for health, you want to do some research, and then there are websites of Harvard, and where all the research
Yeah.
papers are published. So depends exactly what you're trying to find, and then you be very clear. Okay, this is exactly what I need to know. Once I get the information, I'm going to be out of it. So it's training your mind basically.
Right. I get that, ma'am. Because so a lot of people recommend things like the Pomodoro technique, whether to prevent procrastination and be able to finish the work in time. And
Right.
I think that along with this, so like you said, that there are educational videos on YouTube, right?
Yes.
And I used to refer to a lot of those when I was in school. So for example, Khan Academy, it's I think it's a treasure chest of information, and it's uh, it's something that I am really grateful for. So, but the thing is that it's free, and like we spoke about in our previous conversation, a lot of times people, mostly students, don't value the resources which are available for no charge. So let's say there is a platform like the Circle of Legends where people are agreeing to be the host or the guest for free, and our only aim is to build a community and involve everyone in this collaborative platform. So, ma'am, what do you think? How can we increase the value of a platform like this without having to monetize it?
See, the content needs to be good. Like you mentioned, Khan
Yeah.
Academy. I don't know about them, but you got a lot of
Hmm.
benefit from them, right? And I think they
Okay.
don't even care whether people value it or not. Their
Hmm.
intentions are to serve and provide
Right.
information and valuable information to whoever is watching that video, probably students. So the
Hmm.
content needs to be great and there should be consistency. Nothing happens
Right.
overnight, right? Maybe you just started now, or maybe you started 1 year back. You need to wait and watch, give it some time, and if you're still not seeing result, then maybe you need to change the message, you need to fine tune your marketing. There might be some kind of fine tuning you need it. Even after that you don't, then probably you need to change the message or try some other platform. But coming back to why people value or don't value is it totally depends. Some people pay, buy courses, even then they don't
Yeah.
value. There are very
Right.
few people who don't have money, but they want to make best out of whatever is available.
Hmm.
Very few. But the problem is, everything you type in, whatever you need today, there is overwhelming information on every topic.
Absolutely.
That's where people get confused, and sometimes
Hmm.
there are conflicting answers.
Right.
Then people give up. Okay, this is contradicting. What should I
Hmm.
do? So, valuing or not valuing is totally personal. There are few people who really value free resources. There are people who have spent money, bought courses, and not finished one course.
Yeah.
But I think people who are providing these free courses,
Hmm.
and especially the Circle of Legends, you guys are doing
Hmm.
great job and your content is great. I think you
Thank you.
should only think about your why you're doing it. If your why is
Right.
clear, then you really
Hmm.
don't bother whether people value it or not, and eventually people will. And one thing
Right.
more, I would say, not everybody will resonate with everybody, right? People will come
Hmm.
and go. So people who resonate
Yeah.
will stick. It's like a sieve. If there are big
Hmm.
holes, more people will fall, more things will
Right.
fall. The thinner the sieve holes are, the less content, the less. So you need to have that kind of thin holes in your sieve, so only people who value will come to you.
That's a wonderful analogy, ma'am. I mean, thank you. I never thought of it that way. That's very interesting. Even though a sieve is something that we use on a daily basis.
Yeah. So depends on the whole of the thieves. I mean, sometimes when the
Right.
holes are big, there are too many people or too many things falling in.
Hmm.
So yeah, we can't serve the whole world. There are 8 billion people in this world. People can be from
Right.
same industry. There will be 10 people teaching the same thing, but some people resonate to one and some people resonate to other.
Right. So, ma'am, do you think that we should focus more on creating content that is, relevant to a larger section of the population, or do you think it's better to, maybe narrow our stream of interest?
It really depends, Pallavi, to be very honest. I mean, if your product is for masses, then yes,
Hmm.
but otherwise, it's always good to stick to a niche and then, take it from there and then grow it.
Right.
Because
Right.
most of the people say if you're serving all, you're serving none, right?
Okay.
So you
Right.
need to narrow it down and say, okay, this is my target
Hmm.
audience, these are the demographics, age, gender, country,
Yeah.
likes, dislikes. The more you filter it, it gets
Hmm.
easy, especially for new and young students or entrepreneurs, I would say. If somebody is in the
Right.
business, who's been there for 20 years, for them it's a different ball game.
Hmm. Right. That reminds me of, in your previous episode of the podcast, the one that you just posted, you mentioned how Tony Robbins has 20 years of experience and it took him that much time to reach where he is now. And often we expect, young entrepreneurs to reach that stage in a limited duration of time. So that is something that really resonated with me, like you said.
I will tell you, Tony Robbins actually is in the industry for 40 years, but he got his success only after
Oh, okay.
20. Yeah, I have been following Tony. He's been my mentor, virtual mentor. I've never met him. I would love to meet him
Mhm.
one day. It's my
Mhm.
dream. But I have been following Tony for a few years now, and I know his story by heart. When he started, what he did, and how he
Right.
struggled and everything. So he started even when
Mhm.
he was very young, probably 17, 18, and he's 60 plus now. I think he celebrated his 60th birthday this year. So he's been in the industry
Okay.
for 40 years. And in first 20 years he worked very hard, and 20 years back there was no social media, there was no
Right.
digitalization. So he was, it was very tough game for them. So of course he did
Mhm.
achieve his success, but not in 20 40 years, I would say. And young entrepreneurs are expecting that because of social media again. There is a young guy,
Right.
who's showing, oh, I'm only 21 and I have this Ferrari and I'm flying, going on holiday the whole year.
Right.
I work from my laptop. Then most of the students sitting, oh my god, how can he do it? If he can do it, I also want to do it.
Right.
Understand?
Yeah.
Because of social media people are selling, and then they also create this FOMO, fear of missing out. If you
Yeah.
don't buy their course, you're going to miss out. So young entrepreneurs also need to understand that they need to reject 9 offers out of 10 and choose only
Yeah.
one. Choose only one
Right.
which resonates with them, stick to it for at least 1 year.
Understood. So, ma'am, when you say that, choose one out of the 10 offers that you get, do you mean in terms of collaboration or funding? I mean, in what aspect?
No, not collaboration or funding. I mean, I
Mhm.
meant was courses. People are selling marketing
Oh, course.
courses,
Got
sales
it.
courses,
Right.
mentorship, everything, left, center, and right. So whatever every people feel that, oh, I should buy this, I should buy this. Maybe he should be my
Right.
mentor. Maybe she should. So everything is very overwhelming. So learn to reject 9. Make the list. Okay, today I saw these,
Yeah.
these adverts, marketing, da da da. Which one really resonates with my kind of work or my passion? And then I
Right.
say no to 9 and pick only one.
Mhm. Yeah. That's a good idea, man. That's
Mhm.
I mean, very structured workflow, I would say, to reach where you want to be. So, like you said, that it doesn't make sense to chase success by just comparing yourself with somebody's social media persona,
Yeah.
but we should actually look at the struggles that they've been through. So, Tony Robbins, I didn't know that he has been in the industry for 40 plus years.
Yes. Darshan is here to stop
Yes.
us.
Yeah, not to stop me.
Otherwise, we can go on and on.
Yes. No, even I was thinking that the topic is, such interesting. I think we need to invite Kajal once again to give
Yes, sir, I
insight.
was about to say that.
So by informing her that we will have, a one complete 1 hour long show just
Yes,
for
sir.
Kajal, and that too, point by point by point, because this is what
Mhm.
today's youngsters require. Like many of the point which you have said, we have done a show, but much earlier stage. Like as I say that my journey,
Mhm.
we have started on Valentine's Day this year,
Right.
and since then we have done some small little steps on our own. We have covered all these topic. Means FOMO as a separate topic, social media de-addiction as a separate
Right.
topic, but we were just taking baby steps. We were, taking up our PowerPoint presentation, but we were not having, such kind of affiliation. Now we are, lucky enough that our own, students or mentees, they are finding out mentors, and we are able to reach to those who have done a real groundwork, those who are connected on the ground with many people, many individuals. So your insights are really helpful to us, and
Thank
I
you so
feel
much.
like going on for 1 hour. So
I'm sorry, I talk too much. That's part of my job, coaching. So,
yeah. uh, uh, Basically, what let me just tell our intention or objective
Yes,
of
sir.
doing uh, the Circle of Legends activity. So basically,
Mhm.
it's a non-for-profit activity with a longer-term vision to make people collaborate and learn and share, or learn and teach. So we do not have volunteers. We would like to invite learners, and those
Yes.
learners learns and teaches. So it's a kind of cycle wherein you keep on learning, you keep on teaching. And as you have said, that there are so many avenues available where a person can do a free learning. Only thing is he needs to have that intent and concentration, focus. So we are building that team of people, those who are having focus and would like to remain with us. I'll tell you my
Yeah.
journey. As you know, you were telling that people will come and go from the community. As of now, 100 students came and gone. Yeah,
Right.
still we have 500 more. So they are coming
Absolutely.
here, they see that there is no value addition. I do not get what I want. I don't get the feeling of Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
So your points were very valid, and it was completely matching my thought process. That so that's
Thank
why I was
you.
thinking that yeah. So
I'll be honored to come and share again, whenever you guys are
uh-huh,
ready. Just let me know. It
uh-huh,
will be my honor to help. It's very important. Whatever you're doing, Darshan and Pallavi, it's great because I think younger generation needs direction. They are already feeling
True.
lost and overwhelmed,
Yes.
and we need great leaders. This world doesn't have great leaders, and I keep posting this on my LinkedIn that this world needs great leaders, and we need to find leaders who can actually guide who are behind us.
correct.
Right.
Yeah. So I think hopefully all good things needs to come to the end. I think our audience also must be feeling like that these guys should keep on talking. But let's conclude for today, and
Okay.
with a couple of information Pallavi would like to share. So Pallavi, if you
Sure.
could like to share about the Circle of Legends, as well as the
Yes.
Teachers Day. I think it's a big announcement.
Right. Yes, sir. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the session, that we are planning to have a gratitude card for all the teachers who have made a difference to our life. And so we're inviting everyone to send in photos and a message of appreciation for the teachers. You can follow the sticker that's, yeah, you can follow that for the details. So you can send in their name, a message, and a photo.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are the platforms where we would be displaying the card, and it would be great if you follow us and stay tuned for further sessions.
Perfect. So thanks a lot, Pallavi, for hosting this session. And even if you
Yes,
would like to host the session with the Circle of Legends, we would like to invite you. You come, get trained, become a host or hostess. Take an advantage of this platform to meet your guests, to get insight from them. Also, pass your gratitude to the society by doing something which is valuable, rather than just running around here and there and posting the content which you would like to post for others. Do something for yourself. That is the message which we would like to convey from the Circle of Legends. And let's collaborate and learn from each other. Once again, thanks, Kajal, and
Thank you.
thank you,
uh,
ma'am.
Thank you.
yeah,
It
and
was my
thanks,
pleasure.
Pallavi.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pallavi.